This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
(1:15 p.m.) This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Catherine Pereira and read by Geethanjali Ramanayaka. The headlines. The President has emphasized the need to maintain more efficient and quality public transport services to attract passengers. The amendment enabling renewable energy expansion will open new avenues for investors and provide sustainable solutions for the power crisis in Sri Lanka. The Foreign Minister holds bilateral discussions with the government of Singapore. Litro Gas Lanka Limited says the distribution of domestic LP gas will not continue today. Foreign news, West condemns death sentence of foreign fighters. News in detail. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has emphasized the need to maintain more efficient and quality public transport services to attract passengers. The people have been severely inconvenienced due to the increase in oil prices, and at the same time there is high demand for public transportation, the President's media division said in a statement. The President pointed out that providing facilities would give relief to the people. His remarks came during a discussion on the progress review of the Ministry of Transport and Highways held at the President's house in Colombo yesterday. The need for a systematic supply of fuel to trains and buses was lengthily discussed at this meeting. It was also decided to take steps to supply fuel to private buses at night through the petrol stations owned by the Transport Board. It was also decided to expand the park and drive system and reduce parking charges. The President also advised to check immediately the possibility of providing parking facilities near selected railway stations. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa says that after 9 years, the amendment enabling renewable energy expansion was passed in Parliament today. It will open new avenues for investors and provide a sustainable solution for the power crisis in Sri Lanka. Placing a Twitter message, the President stated that he appreciated the dedication made by the Minister in charge of the subject. The Minister of Foreign Affairs says that the Foreign Minister, Professor G.L. Peiris, has conducted an important bilateral discussion on his 2-day official visit to Singapore. He undertook an official visit to Singapore from 8th to the 9th of June after 4 years. The discussion was focused on the current economic crisis in Sri Lanka. The discussions with Singapore centered on the current economic crisis in Sri Lanka. Minister Peiris sought assistance from the government of Singapore for Sri Lanka to secure bridging financing, increase foreign direct investments and increase opportunities for Sri Lankan exports to Singapore. The minister also sought the support of the government of Singapore to obtain more employment opportunities for Sri Lankans in Singapore. At present, the two countries are closely working on deploying healthcare workers, in particular nurses, to Singapore. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
People's Bank Digital Banking, your ultimate convenience.
Litro Gas Lanka Limited says the distribution of domestic LP gas will not continue today due to the unavailability of sufficient stocks. The distribution process came to a temporary standstill after a special distribution of domestic LP gas cylinders, that's 12.5 kilograms, 5 kilograms and 2.3 kilograms in Colombo, Kalutara and Gampa areas on Tuesday. Meanwhile, a shipment of 3,900 metric tons of LP gas reached Sri Lanka on June 8th. However, the unloading process is yet to commence, as a balance payment of $2.5 million is slated to be settled for this consignment. A proposal to convey condolence over the death of Polonnaruwa parliamentarian Amarakirti Athukorala, who was assassinated on the 9th of May, was taken up for discussion in Parliament today. Presenting the proposal, Minister Dinesh Gunawardena said that this has been done by a group who said that they are following democratic policies. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe stated that this has not only affected his family but also the parliament. The opposition leader Sajith Premadasa said that the assassination of MP Amarakirti is a brutal act of terrorism. This type of killing should be prevented from the political culture. He thoroughly rejected the brutal act. And that ends local news for now.
Transact wherever you are on your mobile phone via the People's Wave mobile banking app or People's Wave internet banking facility. People's Bank Digital Banking, your ultimate convenience.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
In the main news story, the Ministry of Agriculture says that paddy cultivation is carried out in more than 446,000 hectares of land in the Yalla season. The entire land planned to cultivate paddy for the Yalla season was 600,000 hectares. Minister Mahinda Amarura said that in 90% out of this, paddy cultivation is carried out. The farmers were compelled to cultivate with the receiving of urea fertilizer given by the Government of India. And that was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
And in Watchlight, wearing face masks indoors and outdoors will not be mandatory from today. However, the Director General of Health Services, Dr. Asela Gunawardena, said that it's preferable for people who are suffering from respiratory disorders to wear a face mask. However, this direction does not prevent people from wearing face masks as per their wishes. And that was Watchlight. Moving on to world news, the headlines. West condemns death sentence for foreign fighters. Japan elected to UN Security Council. Ukraine Defense Minister appeals for more weapons. World news in detail now. 2 British citizens and a Moroccan captured by pro-Russian forces have been sentenced to death in eastern Ukraine. They were accused of illegally fighting on behalf of Ukraine's government as mercenaries. Russia's Interfax news agency says the 2 British nationals were captured in Mariupol in Donetsk region in mid-April. The Moroccan citizen was caught in Donetsk back in March. Aidan Aslin, who is a British citizen, said they were accused of illegally fighting on behalf of Ukraine's government as mercenaries. Russia's Interfax news agency says the 2 British nationals were captured in Mariupol in the Donetsk region in mid-April. The Moroccan citizen was caught in Donetsk back in March. Aidan Aslin, who is a British citizen, said he was hoping that sentence would be a lot fairer, judging the circumstances in which he helped the investigation and also because he surrendered to the Donetsk People's Republic. Japan is one of 5 countries that have been voted to a 2-year term on the United Nations Security Council. The UN General Assembly conducted the vote yesterday. General Assembly President Abdullah Shahid made the announcement. The other countries are Ecuador, Malta, Mozambique and Switzerland. Their term begins on January 1st, 2023. 10 non-permanent and 5 permanent members sit on the Council. It is the only UN body that can make legally binding decisions, such as imposing sanctions and authorizing the use of force. Ukrainian Defense Minister Oleksiy Reznikov has thanked their countries for their military support, but he also stressed that Ukraine urgently needs more weapons. Reznikov said on his Facebook page yesterday that Ukraine has received self-propelled artillery systems from the United States, France and Poland. He also said around 250 armored vehicles and thousands of portable weapons such as Javelin anti-tank missiles have been provided. The minister noted that his country has received hundreds of drones. He added it is expecting some more powerful unmanned aerial vehicles in the coming aid packages. Back to the headlines of the world news. West condemns death sentence for foreign fighters. Japan elected to UN Security Council. Ukraine Defense Minister appeared for more weapons. And with that, we end this bulletin of world news and on to development news. The government has paid attention to prevent soil erosion at the Ma Oya Bank. It will be implemented under the Surakumuganga program. Under this program, valuable saplings of plants such as mee and kumbuk will be planted. And that was development news.
Sports news is brought to you by
Sampath Bank. We present your future.
In sports news, 16 leading school netball teams will compete for the Milo Champions Cup, which is scheduled to be held on Sunday at the Buddhadasa Stadium in Batramulla. Over 3,000 students are involved in this event, which would give them match exposure. Holy Family Convent Kurunagala, who won the Milo School's netball title several times, will be a key attraction at this tournament, while Kalsara Balika Vidyalaya, Malideva Balika, Museus and Visaka are the top teams of this tournament. And that is sports news.
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
The State Timber Corporation has earned an income of 1.5 billion rupees last year. The amount of financial asset of this corporation is in a satisfactory level. The State Timber Corporation is providing 2,000 million rupees to the Treasury annually. The corporation also hopes to sell timber to the foreign countries. And that was business news.
Business News, sponsored by
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
Economic news, courtesy of
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
The National Construction Association of Sri Lanka (NCASL) expressed concern over the 3,000 rupees price increase of a cement bag announced by manufacturing companies without prior approval from the government and said this situation badly affected 4 million people engaged in the country's construction field. According to NCASL statistics, nearly 375,000 people are directly involved in the construction industry in Sri Lanka and over 650,000 people are indirectly engaged in the industry. He said, in addition, about 3 million are reported as dependents of the persons involved in the construction industry. And that was economic news.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
In the weather report, the Met Department says that showers will occur at times in the western, Sabaragamu and northwestern provinces and in the Kandy, Nuwara Eliya and Mathura districts. Showers or thunder showers may occur at a few places in the Uva province and in Batiklo and Ampara districts during the afternoon or night. Fairly strong winds, about 40 kilometers per hour, can be expected at times in the northern, north central and northwestern provinces and in the Trincomalee and Hambantota districts. That was the weather report, and to conclude this news broadcast, back to the headlines. The President has emphasized the need to maintain more efficient and quality public transport services to attract passengers. The amendment of enabling renewable energy expansion will open new avenues for investors and provide a sustainable solution for the power crisis in Sri Lanka. The Foreign Minister holds bilateral discussions with the government of Singapore. Litro Gas Lanka Limited says that distribution of domestic LP gas will not continue today. In foreign news, West condemns death sentence for foreign fighters. And with that, we end this news broadcast from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.